Boom. All right. Cool, guys. So today we're going to be going over micronutrients. So we talk a lot about macronutrients, obviously your carbs, your fats, and your proteins, right? So micronutrients are kind of everything else. So you might know them better as just vitamins and minerals. That's essentially what they are. But they are super important, even though we don't touch on them a lot. We don't want to throw too much at you guys at one time. So we just focus on the three macros. Um, but if we can teach you a little bit more about nutrition and the micronutrients, that's going to be beneficial for you in the long term as well. Um, so what is a macronutrient? So a macronutrient, sorry, let me fix this. There we go. That's a little better. Oh. All right. So a macronutrient is going to be, again, one of the major groups of nutrients your body needs. It includes the vitamins and minerals, so that's necessary for energy production, immune strength, and hormone optimization and other functions. So what are the most important vitamins? We're going to start with vitamins here. So because there's so many vitamins and minerals, guys, that we wouldn't have time to cover everything in an hour. So we want to just kind of break it down to the most important ones, or the ones that maybe in the American diet are a little bit more deficient. So vitamin D is definitely one that a lot of times we're not getting. So this is going to help support the immune function. It's going to strengthen the bone. So especially with women. So obviously, if you're a woman, you should know that you have a higher chance of osteoporosis as you age, which is basically the weakening of the bones. So getting the right nutrients in your system is going to help you prevent that as well too. Other thing that, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know in Nebraska, a lot of women have vitamin D deficiencies. I have to take extra vitamins every day because of it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. And so another thing, Mindy, answer me this question. What's another way that women can help prevent osteoporosis that's not nutrition based?
Working out.
Yeah,
Weights.
Working out. Weights. Yes. Thank you. Weights. So working out, specifically strength training. Okay. So what happens when we strength train, guys, is our muscles are pulling on our bones, which in turn strengthens our bones, right? So that's why women, especially, not so much nowadays, but kind of maybe like 10, 20 years ago, it was really common for you to go to the gym and just see women doing nothing but cardio, right? And that was always the exact opposite of what they should be doing, because they have higher rates of osteoporosis, and the strength training is super beneficial for you. So, and maybe you fit in that court. Some people are still like that, where like, I just want to do cardio all the time. You need to have that strength training in your program as well too, to not only form the muscles, but actually strengthen the bones as well too. So back in the day, somebody told me, like, it's funny, every time you go to the gym, you see people doing the exact opposite of what they should be doing. And this was like 10 years ago. So keep in mind, like, I think the common knowledge of exercises and things like that has grown over that 10 years. But back then, it's very common, like I said, to see the women just on the cardio equipment, right? And women need the strength training part because of the osteoporosis. Well, the guys are doing the same thing, right? The guys were only hitting the weights because they just want to get big and stuff, right? When us guys, we have more of a higher rate of heart disease, right? So we need the cardio. So it was funny. It's like, everybody's doing the wrong thing. They should be flip-flopping, right? So that was a good way for me to remember, just like, yeah, your exercise needs to be well balanced as well as the nutrition. So the next nutrient is the folate, so AKA folic acid. So this helps nail growth, aids in fighting depression, and it helps offset inflammation. Vitamin B12. So this is one that if you're a vegetarian or a vegetarian or a vegan, typically we see a lot of deficiencies with that type of nutrition, because the B12 is coming from the meat. Okay, so if you are vegan, if you are vegetarian, just make sure you're supplementing with a B12 vitamin. So that way you are meeting that requirement for your body. So that's going to basically keep the body's nerve and blood cells healthy, helps make more DNA. And yeah, it's just deficient in a lot of vegetarians and a lot of vegans. So on to minerals. So for I think most important minerals here. So first one is magnesium. So that helps support your energy production, also calms the nerves nervous system to reduce stress and aids in sleep. Okay. So calcium is the next one on the list. So this helps strengthen teeth and bones, helps fight osteoporosis. So obviously, like, dairy products, drinking milk, things like that, that's going to help those things. So zinc supports the immune system, helps use carbs, fats, and proteins as an energy source. So that's actually going to help your macronutrient distribution out and making sure that it's being used in the right way in the body. And then we have the iron. So increased brain function supports healthy red blood cells as well too. So, and I know iron deficiency is a huge one for a lot of Americans.
Hey, Matt.
Yes, sir.
Vitamin D or vitamin D3 and zinc are good for when you get COVID too.
Yeah, for sure. Tell us how.
It helps your immune system recover faster. So it's one of the things they tell you to start taking, along with elderberry.
Okay, good. Cool. So now we know kind of what the vitamins and minerals are we want to focus on, but where do we get these vitamins and minerals from? Okay, what are the good food sources? So here we have vitamin D, obviously that's milk, cereals, fatty fish. Vitamin B12 is meat, poultry, fish, milk, cheese, soy milk. So anything dairy, basically. So B12. So if you're a vegan, vegetarian, you could go the dairy route. Not obviously a vegan, but a vegetarian could do more of the dairy route and help get more B12 that way. And then the folate, leafy greens, beans, fruits, whole grains, peanuts. So one thing you'll see that's pretty common in most of these between let me go back. Between the vitamins and minerals are leafy greens, guys. So fill up on this stuff, super low calories, and just, it's like a superfood, right? It's just going to give you a lot of nutrients for not a lot of bang for your buck. All right, and then the mineral sources for the food. What are the best mineral sources? So calcium is going to be more of your yogurt, cheese, milk, salmon, leafy greens. Okay. Magnesium is going to be your spinach, broccoli, legumes, seeds, whole wheat. Hey, Estella, mute yourself, please. The iron is going to be the red meat, poultry, eggs, fruits, green vegetables, fortified breads. And then the zinc, you have meat, shellfish, legumes, whole grains. All right, so I know I just threw a lot at you there, right there, guys. It's like, there's just so much food that you'd have to intake to be able to get to where you need to go, as far as getting everything you need in your diet. So that's why we have like kind of tricks and ways we can kind of offset not being able to eat this much food in one day. So that's why I'm going to share with you now is just basically what are some tips and tricks we can use to help us get more fruits, veggies, and just more micronutrients in our day. So tip number one is to freeze fruit for snacks later. So you'll see that here where you can do like a smoothie, but like really just bagging it up here, right? This is what I meaning to point at. And you can do the same thing with veggies. So these are great snack alternatives, guys. It just takes a little preparation. So having those ready to go before you go out the door, or if you're working from home, I mean, you have even less of an excuse. You can have it in your fridge, cut it up. So just snacking on those type of things are going to be good for you throughout the day. You could also do fruit smoothies, veggie smoothies, okay, all this stuff here. So you could do that, and like they have like those magic bullets. I used to do a lot of veggie and fruit smoothies. I don't anymore just because like it just takes a lot more time. Now I'm just really into just supplementing. So that's the other item here is a supplement. I think that's the easiest part. So whether that be, like Mindy was saying, I think she takes some vitamins, like some pills and stuff like that. I take a greens drink because the greens, if you look on the back of the label, it has literally all of the vitamins, all of the minerals that you're going to need throughout the day. You do that once a day and you're good to go. So I actually created my own greens drink. It's called Defend, okay? Because it's going to defend against, sickness, strengthening your immune system, all that good stuff. I think Coach E takes this. I take it. My wife takes it. A few other clients are taking it right now. So, but basically what I did here, guys, was like I went through basically hand in hand with the top distributors in the country and just made sure I knew every single ingredient that was in these products and to make sure that they were everything that I was going to want. Okay. Because like, I know what you guys need and I know what I want in my supplements, and just making sure you're getting what you need. Because with a lot of supplements, you just never know, especially like an MLM or something like that. So, so there's your options, guys, of like how to get these in your diet. See if I can go backwards. Nope. There we go. So, yes,
Like
ma'am.
I'm taking D. Are we supposed to be logging that into like our MyFitnessPal and stuff like that?
The greens.
For like the vitamins, like vitamin D that I take.
No, so typically supplements aren't going to have any calories. They're not going to have any macros. So vitamins at least. Now, if you do like my drink that I drink every day is like 30 calories. It's not much, but if you did like a drink or something, you definitely want to put that in your MyFitnessPal. So, but as far as like the pills, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. That's a good question. And I seen you're getting back down to your new low and everything, man. That's freaking awesome. You followed the program to a T. Like we had to put her calories back up. She went back down and now she's getting results again, which is awesome. All right, cool guys. And then my recommendation book of the month is going to be High Performance Habits. So I'm really into like being a high performer, and honestly, I think anybody that does this program and does it the right way, I would consider them a high performer, because high performers do what most people aren't willing to do, right? And if you're logging your food every day and you're working out, 4 or 5 times per week, like you're a high performer. Okay, because you're already ahead of like 80% of the population just by doing those two things. But there's always room for improvement, especially if you want to be a high performer. Okay, and I mean, in all honesty, guys, like who wouldn't want to be a high performer? Because you just do things at a whole different level than the average person does. Okay, whether that's work, whether that's parenting, whether that's health, like whatever it is in your life. When you adopt certain habits and that's why we focus so much on routines and things like this, guys, is because when you do these things and you do them consistently, it basically creates a compounding effect. And in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you just become a totally different person, the person that you're always meant to be. So, figuring out how to have more high performance habits is definitely worth your time. Okay. So this book's basically going to, like it says here, help you seek clarity, increase productivity, generate energy, develop influence, raise necessity, and demonstrate courage. So, I can't say enough good things about like just being a high performer and really like holding yourself to a different standard than most people. So, and I think that anybody that joins this program has that in them. So it's just being consistent with it and following through on what they said they were going to do. Does anybody have any questions on that? Everybody's got their mic off. Everybody's got their camera off.
I'm getting tired over here. I don't know about everybody else.
Matt, are you thinking about doing a multivitamin too?
No, I'm just gonna do the greens. That's the multivitamin. That's all I need.
I'm talking about through Body Ops.
Oh yeah, eventually. I mean,
supplements.
we got a lot more products I want to roll out. I definitely want to roll out a protein shake here soon because I think that most people don't know exactly like where to go with protein shakes. And I recommend a few different things, but I'd like to make my own. I think it'd be good.
Yeah.
So Coach Matt, how much are your greens? How many servings come in there?
Oh, you get a 30-day supply with like that tub that I showed you, Stella. So that's a 30-day supply right there. So you could do 2 of those. You could do 2 scoops a day. It wouldn't last you as long, but typically 1 scoop a day is good enough.
Clean you out.
But clean you out, yeah.
Yeah, it clean you out.
That's good.
Sure.
It does
Well, I
not
need something to clean me out. I'm not embarrassed to say like my bowel movements are not like consistent or every day. So
Yeah.
tell
does
me
not
this
taste the way it
product. Tell me
smells.
this product. Why should I buy it? How much is it? Where do I pick it up?
Yeah,
I'm a
let's
salesperson.
yeah, for sure. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Let's hop on a call, Stella. I'm gonna send you a text message after we get off here. Is that cool?
That's perfect.
All
Yeah.
right, yeah.
It doesn't
Especially
taste
if
how
there's
it
like,
smells.
huh?
It doesn't taste how it smells.
Okay.
It smells like
probably-
greens, but it
I
tastes
probably
like
add some
tea.
other stuff too.
No, by itself,
Yeah.
it tastes like tea. It's weird.
Yeah, it
Oh,
tastes
really?
like
Is
tea.
it sweet?
Yeah, it's a tea flavor.
Yeah, it's a tea
That's-
flavor.
It's a little sweet. Yeah, it's
I
not
get tea all the
super
time.
sweet, but yeah, it'll be.
That's an easy way of getting on the greens in because I'm not good at that. I also have
Yeah.
another question for you. So
Yes.
I'm doing more meditation now and I listen to like certain videos in the morning. Like there's one that I listen to consistently because I like it. I'm wondering if you can post some of the stuff that you like to share, that you like to listen to, that, you know, kind of puts you in the groove.
You know, honestly, I don't listen to anything, Estella. When I first started, I think when I first started, I used the Calm app. So if you guys know about the Calm app, it's a free app. It'll walk you through it. But I think eventually where you want to get to is you want to get to the point where you don't need that anymore. Because if the thing is like meditation is literally about doing nothing and being present in that moment. And when you're listening to things, you're not really being as present as you could be because the things you're listening to is constantly changing, right? Now, if it's like a fan going off in the room and it's like you could listen to that and that would be a form of meditation because you're in the moment, that thing's going right now, but it's not all over the place. It's a constant repetitive noise, right? But for me, what I try to do is I try to think of nothing but like blankness, right? So like I either picture like an all white room or I will picture nature sometimes. So like a stream running, okay? I'll picture like mountains, I'll picture like an open field. But the biggest thing that you need to focus on is that air coming in and out of your nostrils, because if you can focus on that feeling of the air coming in and out of your nostrils, that's going to be the form of meditation that you want the most. Okay. And your mind's going to go over here and you bring it back to your nostrils, bring it back to your breathing. Okay. And I'm not like,
What is the breathing? Can you show me what the breathing looks like?
so for me, it's like when I sit down, it's like 10 big breaths. Okay. So I'm like, and I have my eyes closed the whole time. Okay. And I do 10 really big breaths and then I slow down my breathing. And the big breaths are huge, guys, because a lot of the benefits are just going to come from that deep breathing, right? And then you slow it down enough to where you just get to a regular pace of breathing. And that's where you're really going to notice a lot of the effects. So big breaths when you first start out, and when you're kind of coming down, you just kind of relax and let everything kind of sink in. And the longer you can hold that position, like I'm really scatterbrained, if you can't tell. So like a good meditation for me is like 5 minutes, right? But some people can go like 20 minutes. So the longer you can do it, like the better you're gonna. It's like, you know, can you run down the block or can you run a mile? Like I'd rather be able to run a mile, right? But it's like we're not all there, so that's okay. But getting started is the biggest thing, and then being consistent with it too. Because when you have the consistency, Stella, especially in your
Line of
your line
work.
of work, yeah, it's gonna be, you know, you're gonna notice when you don't do it. It's like when you really start working out and then you take a week off and you're like, fuck, I feel like shit. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
the meditation's the same way. Like I can tell when something's coming at me throughout the day and I haven't meditated, and it's like everything is just like so much more stressful. But then I can tell when I do my meditation and stuff that would normally like really, really stress me out, it kind of just rolls off my back a little bit. So that's huge.
See, I do mine similar to yours, Matt. Except I count to at least 7 on my inhale and at least 7 on my exhale. And when I inhale, I try to posture up as erect as I can, and then breathe out while I'm that erect and flatten my stomach out.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to this coach talking about doing 2 short breaths in.
Yep. Well, if you ever
Yeah.
watch, what's the name of it? Wim Hof, I think it is. It's a breathing
Wim
technique
Hof.
that people use for meditation as well. I do mine normally in either in the sauna or right before I go to sleep because it'll help me go to sleep.
Well, I have undiagnosed ADD, and I'm gonna tell you the meditating. I don't know. It probably has a lot to do with being in this group and like seeing Angelo Desposito always posting positive stuff and like all this different stuff that's happening, right? Thanks, Angelo, for all the cool stuff. You're always like, I'm like, I don't want to go exercise, and then I see your message. I'm like, all right, I'll go walk. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because it was very helpful for me to be able to get into a meditative state, which has always been very complicated for me. But I just randomly ran into that video and I watched it and I started doing the 2 breaths in that are kind of like, and then holding it and then out your mouth, and then doing that repeatedly. You do feel like a sense of peace. So it has been helpful for me. I just wanted to know if there was anything that you maybe started off with to help some of us beginners know how to do it, like get into the groove of it, I guess.
That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people just don't know where to start with it. So the Calm app is definitely one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mindy.
I was gonna say the Calm app was one that helped me start out. I actually ended up paying for it, and then I know I'm able to like meditate for 35, 40 minutes sometimes.
Damn, that's impressive.
Yeah, I remember when I started, Matt, I listened to nature and water because it's constant. And remember, I told you about a month or 2 in and my anger diminished.
Yeah.
From it.
Mhm.
I wasn't as touchy.
Yeah, you tell everybody that. You're like, the biggest thing I took from this is the meditation. That's huge.
I always say that. I say that in the initial call and everything. That's what helped me the most. It helped me not stress over that spreadsheet and job I had at the time. And I just did it. I was like, if you just shut up and do it, you'll be able to. I was able to say, shut up and do it and not get mad and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For me, sorry guys. First of all, Estella, thank you for the shout out. I appreciate that. I'm glad that I was able to motivate you. But for me with meditation, I started with YouTube 7-minute guided meditations because I also have a mild attention deficit. Now I can do 5 to 10 minutes of, I use either a white noise machine or a white noise app on my phone. Sounds of the stream, nature sounds are really good. But for me, I had to do 7 minutes. Probably took me for the first year that I did meditation because I needed somebody to kind of help me do it the right way, if that makes sense. So what I do with my clients when they want to try meditating, I tell them go onto YouTube and just type in 5-minute or 7-minute guided meditations and start with those just to kind of get yourself familiar and comfortable. And then definitely you want to move to what Matt said, either a silent room meditation or the Calm app or the nature sounds, something where you're not disturbed by somebody speaking. So that's what worked for me.
You know what? What I have noticed for anybody that's not doing it yet is the days that I've done it, oh my God, I'm in such an incredibly good mood. It's like every time I talk to somebody, they might have a problem, but their problem stays on their boundary line and it doesn't cross into mine, and it feels good. So actually that has been like, I did it twice and I noticed that. Now I'm like, do it every day. So yeah, I wish workouts were that easy to get into.
Well, you know what? Eventually your workout could also be part of your meditation.
Yep.
You know, when I'm on the treadmill, if I'm not listening to music, I'm listening to my breathing, I'm listening to my feet hit the mat, you know, whatever it is. So eventually, even with weights, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, even with weights, there are times, I mean, a lot of the times I need music to help me focus, but sometimes I do without. And again, my workout is my meditation.
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely right about the meditation part of a workout. One thing you can look at a workout too, Estella, because like you're probably a little bit like me and Coach E, where we have some aggression we need to let out. And so you're, I mean, he's a
For
boxer.
sure. No,
He's a
I'm laughing on
like,
this other side. Like, yeah.
yeah. The way I look at it is like meditation's for peace, right? To have your inner peace. And then working out is to let your inner beast out and like let that aggression out, because it's okay to like, and that's why I like CrossFit, or just like I like lifting with rubber plates, because I like throwing my shit on the ground and being like, let's fucking go. You know what I'm saying? And some people like to box, like Coach E likes to box. That's his aggression thing, right? Some people like to, you know, whatever, maybe it's just running or something, or maybe it's just lifting weights, but like throw the weight around, grunt a little bit, like let it out and tell yourself you're a fucking badass, because
Bro,
it's
until
like,
I learned how to meditate the right way, that was my way out.
yeah. But now you see the difference between the two, right? Like the inner peace.
If I don't meditate, I have a terrible workout. I could tell when I didn't meditate. My workouts are mediocre.
All right.
Wow.
And I also, just so you know, I also meditate when I first wake up, and I also meditate just before I go to sleep. Because in the morning, it wakes me up, gets me ready, and at night it helps me shut down, because there are a lot of times I can't do that.
I honestly think the morning is the best time to meditate, because your mind's pretty clear, right? You don't have all the jumbo from the day in your head at that time. And that's why I really preach to you guys, like, hey, don't even look at your freaking phone for the first hour and a half that you're awake, okay? Because that thing can ruin your whole day. Like it happened to me just the other day. I got up, I looked at my phone, I saw I had a text message, and I'm so trained that I'm like, I'm not even gonna look at that, right? Did my meditation. By the time I looked at it, it was a unpleasant text from my baby mom, basically, from my oldest daughter's mom, who doesn't live here. And long story short, it pissed me off, right? And so like, not the meditation isn't going to get you around from being pissed off, but like what would have happened if that was the first thing while I was still in bed and I saw that? I would have been pissed.
You would have made everybody else pay for it too.
Right. I would have made my family pay for it. I would have been pissed off all day. And I told my wife that, I'm like, this pissed me off, but I'm like, I'm so glad I didn't look at my phone the first thing in the morning. And that's why I preach that to you guys, because it'll throw your whole shit off.
That's why I like meditating at night.
I've been struggling, and I'm not a good meditator at all. And Coach Eric was just saying, make sure you meditate. And so I've focused on that the last 2 days. And I feel so much better. So much better.
Girl.
You can see it in your face, Jane. You can see it in your face.
Pardon?
You can see it in your face.
Oh, good. It wasn't the workout I just did.
You just look more at peace right now. The other day when you sent me the one when you didn't want to be at the gym and you was upset. You can tell.
Well, I am done at the gym right now, and I feel good, and I'm in a good place. So
there it is. What you say, Mindy?
I was gonna say, you and I were talking about, you know, when I'm like in that moment, like with Kaylin, my oldest has autism, so I almost have to meditate to get out of that state of I'm just gonna go off on this kid. So I live that way. Me and Eric were talking about that, because there's times it's trying.
Yeah, my wife's the same way. Like there's times where she's like, I just need 5 minutes, and she'll go lay down in the bed and start meditating. Like she knows the benefits of it too. She's not really good with being consistent of it, but when she needs to do it, she knows when she needs to do it. So like, I think all moms should do that because you guys need it, dude. Like kids, they're the most uncontrollable things in our lives, right? Like there's no way to control what your kid's gonna do. And it's stressful, especially if you are one of those people that like to control things. So like meditation is huge because you can't control every single thing that they're gonna do. So you gotta just be able to put up and deal with what you're gonna get with kids.
Hey, high key, we just did 2 trainings.
Yeah.
We just did it. We just smoothly veered into training on meditation. That was dope.
Yeah. That's why I like these guys, because it's like
Yeah.
there's no topic off limits here as far as health and fitness. Like we talk about micronutrients, but that doesn't mean we have to sit here and talk about it the whole time. Like tell us what you're struggling with, what you're doing good on. Like this is all a community where we can all collectively come together and be with each other on this journey. And one thing I want to point out is those people that are doing the do and like taking the coaching and taking it serious, they're the ones getting the best results. So like if you're on this right now, and I think almost everybody on here has gotten good results, but like, you know, for those that just don't get the good results, it's like, look at the difference between someone who's like literally doing everything we ask them to, the meditating, the logging, the spreadsheet, all these tasks that we're asking you to do, it's for a reason. And I just see it like, so it's just so blatantly obvious to me that the people that like Jane and Estella, you know, and our old heads like Mindy and Angelo, that's just been doing it for like a freaking year, right? Like, it's just so obvious to me. It's like, this is why you're successful. And this is why the person next to you is not successful, because they're not willing to be coached. So be open to anything and give everything a try and try your best. Like that's all it comes down to. And you're going to find success, whether it's tomorrow or it's in 3 years from now. Like you're going to find it.
Matt, and that's crazy because first of all, when you said you gave me Estella, you felt like I was going to be perfect for her. And we shared some of our personal life, which I've shared with all my clients a little bit. And I always leave the door open for mental health stability also, because that's one thing I specialized in for a long time. But me and Estella, how long was we on the phone the other day, Estella? An hour?
Yeah. Yeah, we chatted up. And by the way, I want to give you a shout out, Coachy, because that meditation started because of your influence. And so much of my stuff that I'm doing, yeah, you're in my ear all the time.
Good. What I want the clients to understand is you all are our accountability too. You know, I hit a new low today, Matt. I hit 227 today. I'm 227 right now.
Damn.
Awesome.
So
Congrats.
Thank you. So I feel like I have to do this better than you all do because I have to teach you how to do it. I have to be a coach. You don't want a coach that's not applying the things he coaches, right?
That's right.
Mhm.
So that's why when y'all have mental health breakdowns and stuff, I tell you to call me. I'll get on the phone in a heartbeat. I'll even give you my address if I need be. That's the honest to God truth. So meditate, please.
Yeah.
Meditation has real, you would think I would have known how to meditate. I had 15 and a half years of mental health. And I always said I don't need to meditate, but I used to get pissed off real easily. Started meditating at night, and I remember something my mom used to tell me in Sunday school, where the Bible says never to go to sleep angry, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I understand why the Bible says that. When you go to sleep angry, now say I would have had a situation like Matt, where I went to sleep mad like I normally do, where I say, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'll worry about it tomorrow. Well, you wake up cranky the next day without even realizing it. You don't want nobody to talk to you. You don't want nobody to touch you. You don't even want nobody to look at you wrong. You know what I'm saying? And if I would have opened my phone, if I would have had a baby mama and she texted me something like that or something upsetting first thing in the morning 5 years ago, I would have gotten in trouble. Because I would have gotten in trouble with the law. Because I probably would have said or did something I had no business doing out of anger, and then I would have regretted it. Versus when I meditate before I go to bed, it's easier for me to only not fall asleep faster I sleep harder, but when I wake up, I normally beat my alarm. So for me, it's best for me to meditate before I go to bed. That's the best time, because that's my let everything that bothers you today go. Tomorrow you'll be better than you was today. And that's worked for me.
I had a hard time sleeping last week, a really hard time. I was getting 4 or 5 hours a night. And I meditated last night for a good 45 minutes. And then you break cycle, but you just say, nope, go back, meditate. And I slept great all night long. It was wonderful.
Nice. Did you get Jane, I can't remember. I know you ordered some supplements when we talked. Did you get some of that lights out?
Yes, I used that. It was not working on me last week.
Wow.
This wasn't working. I wasn't sleeping. I felt like crap. A lot of it's mental health at this point, but I recognize it. But last night I did not take the supplement. I thought, well, I'm going to go a night without taking it. And I don't think that I slept well because I didn't take the supplement. I think I slept well because I meditated before I went to bed.
Yeah, that's huge.
Those supplements are great normally.
Yeah. No, that's huge though. Like figuring out how you can not be dependent on it. So that's not the goal, is obviously to be dependent on it. It's there for when you feel like you're going to need it. So that's really the only time I really like sleep aids like that too. Is just like, if I know it's going to be a rough night, then I will take something. But for the most part, you want to be so regulated in your bedtime routine and your morning routine that like your body just knows, like, you know, I put my kids
You're
down at 8.
lying on sleep.
Right.
What's that?
Do you hear me? I said you
Yeah.
don't want to become reliant on the sleep aid.
Yeah, because then when that stops working, it's gonna be like hell.
Like I told Matt, I forgot who else I told this. I'm winging myself off of pre-workout for a month.
Wow. Why?
Because my tolerance is way too high. I'm taking, in a 7-day period, I'm taking pre-workout 3